Hi, it's Selena Elise again with Century 21 Connect Realty. Thanks again for tuning back into my YouTube channel. We're going to have a few topics today to try to get us caught up and get us back on track for the week. This topic is about, do I really want to buy a foreclosure? Okay, let me explain something to you. Buying a foreclosure is very different from buying a regular resale home. Now, some things to look out for. Know the facts. If that's an arena you want to play in, know the facts. Number one, there is no disclosure from the seller. These are bank-owned properties. They have no idea about what is really going on with that property. Yes, they have property preservation companies, but to a certain degree, that's what they do. They preserve the property in the current state that they're in. They make sure that the house is not, water's not like running all rampant all over the house or what have you, and make sure that it's always secure, but they really can't give you any details on the property because it's just a file. It's just a case file on a desk. It's just another asset that needs to be liquidated. Number two, due diligence, period. Due diligence on foreclosures can vary. There are some banks that won't even allow you more than a 3-day due diligence period. Is that enough time for you to get a home inspection? Absolutely. Absolutely. There is no reason why you should not be able to obtain a full reported home inspection within 3 business days. In fact, I have a great home inspector. Hey, Ms. who will have me a home inspection done within 24 hours. He is really, really awesome. That report is so valuable because it gives you the behind the scene of what has happened with that house. It definitely gives you some insight into, do I really want to buy this house? Is this house going to cost me more than it's worth? Those are questions you have to ask yourself when you're getting ready to buy a foreclosure, because it is so as is, where is. Now, back in the olden days, when I first got into real estate in 2006, there were some banks that would actually do repairs on foreclosures. But that is a thing of the past. That is not our current climate. So if you're going to buy a foreclosure, please be prepared to have to make some type of repairs or upgrades or updates to the property, because the bank is not going to do it. They don't care. This is a valuable asset. Okay, well, all the fixtures are brass. That has nothing to do with the functionality of that house. Is it dry? Can you actually live in there and be good? Yeah, that's all I care about. So be prepared. Have that already in your mind. These people see numbers. They do not see a house where the shingles are hanging off. But can you still live in that house with the shingles hanging off? You sure can. Number 3, utilities. Doing a home inspection on a foreclosure. There are some banks that will not cut on utilities. Be prepared to have your little stash to put up money with the utility company to get your inspections done. Can a home inspector do a home inspection without all utilities being on? Yes, but it is very limited. If there's no water on, they can do a pressure test, which is something they do through the pipes, which show you where it's leaking or where it's not leaking. But you should be prepared for that. In HUD homes, there are never any utilities on. You have to submit a form to HUD once the property is under contract to get permission to turn utilities on. And depending on the house and the condition of the house, that may be granted or that may be denied. They may give you permission to turn on the electricity, but you may not be able to turn on the gas or the water. It just depends. So you'll have to prepare yourself mentally and financially for those things, depending on what type of inspection will need to be done to determine what's really going on with the house. Closing on a foreclosure. It depends. You may, on cash deals, anywhere from 7 to 14 days, or you could go as long as 30 to 45 days. It depends. Pack your patience when you are dealing with a foreclosure. You are dealing with a corporate entity. They are not pressed by your emotion. If you need to move out by, let's say you go into contract on the 5th, and you know you need to be in that house by the 25th, I suggest you find another house, because there is no guarantee you will be able to get that close date. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. It just depends on the bank, how quickly they push the paperwork through. Title issues often come up. Several years ago, I had a foreclosed property, and we had a contract on it. We were within days of closing, and I got a phone call from my asset manager, and he said, Yasleen, give them back their earnest money. And, I'm just blown away. I'm like, why? Well, foreclosure proceedings did not go as planned. So we have to go through the process of actually foreclosing on the house. Then we can sell it. They can wait or they can move on, but give them their money back. You just never know what's going on behind the scenes. Things happen. Things happen. Now, that is just an anomaly. That is not standard. That's just something that happened. Of course, the buyer, she really wanted that house. She waited. It took us, pushing up towards 3 months before we could actually get the home listed again and get it back out there on the market. And she still had not found anything. She said, well, I thought I saw something I wanted, but when you gave me that call, let me know, hey, this house is coming back to market. If you still want to move forward with your offer, go ahead, send me a new contract, and we can move forward. It happens. Multiple offer situations in foreclosures, very common. Very, 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 very common. I had a home last year. It was a burnout. However, it was in a high ARV area. I had like 44, 45 offers on that house. Everything from under list price to well over list price. Prepare yourself for that when you are trying to bid on a foreclosed property. Everybody's looking for a deal. Foreclosed properties are not what they used to be as far as market price. Before, people had gotten accustomed to being able to go 30, 40,000 under the list price on a foreclosure. That is a thing of the past. Please erase that from your mind. We are not living in that reality anymore. Now I have lived to see homes go over 40,000 on asking on a foreclosure. However, it was all about location, location, location. Great location, still a solid house, still a good investment, even going over. Most companies do list their properties under market value in order to drive the prices up. And that's really what the establishments want. They want to make sure that we have good market prices for the homes and we don't end up paying more for the house than it's actually worth. The appraisal process. First of all, rule of thumb, and it's really what's going to happen. If the bank comes back with an appraisal amount under your purchase price, one or two things will have to happen. Either the seller will have to lower the price, or you will have to pay the difference, or well, number three, we both just walk away. We can't agree. This hand is not going to cover this hand if this hand doesn't have enough to cover it. The bank is not going to write paper on a home that comes in less than what is on that contract. So even on a multiple offer status, make sure that you are not pushing the envelope, because there is no guarantee that the sellers will come down. They'll just sit there and wait. Somebody eventually will come along and say, okay, yeah, it didn't quite appraise, but if I buy it and hold it turn this to an income flowing property, maybe in a few years, that value will catch up. In the meantime, I've already made money on this investment. So you really have to be ready to strategize when you're moving forward on a foreclosed property, whether it be for owner occupied or as cash flow. Well, that's my talk today on foreclosed properties. If you have more questions, please feel free to give me a call at 770-771-9962, or you can just stop by my office. I'm here Monday through Friday, 880 Holcomb Bridge Road, Roswell, Georgia, Suite B150. We are in the same complex as the Brookwood Diner, and it is so good. You have to go. They have very good food. Okay, on to our next topic, and thanks again for tuning into my YouTube channel. I missed you all. Thank you for tuning in.